All right, everyone, my name is Bryce Koon, and we're back here with South Alabama head coach Major Applewhite. And, Coach, welcome to New Orleans.
Thank you.
I know you're excited. Just kind of talk about, when you knew you were going to get this job, and it was a very quick turnaround. What has been your excitement level for this opportunity and just a chance to lead these young men that you already have a relationship with?
Well, the excitement level there all the time. I may not show it on my face or say a lot of words trying to convince people, but it's in the work ethic and the passion for what you wake up every morning wanting to do and where you want to take the program. And started immediately with trying to put our staff together and make sure we have the right people in the right seats. Then look at the calendar and see how we can go about our fall, spring practice leading into fall. Get our guys prepared, offense, defense, special teams, get a strength coach, get a strength and conditioning program together, and very excited. I don't walk around like that all the time because usually I'm thinking and pondering what I need to do next. But very excited about it, ready to get to work.
Well, Coach, you can be excited here. I know that it's with the college football calendar, there's not a lot of time to really rest. Can you kind of talk about just how much has this sport changed from when you first got into coaching? I know obviously you had a playing career as well, but just the way that coaches have to divide up their time between family and the job, and how do you handle that with your staff?
Well, it's always been a stress on the family. The game is just, it is what it is, whether you're coaching in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it's just there's times. It's late nights or late nights. All technology has allowed us to do is cram more things into our mind, find more out about our opponents, but we're still spending the same time. The sports really has changed just from the transfer portion of it and the payment part of it. That's the biggest change in what we're doing nowadays.
And obviously, Coach, one of the keys for South Alabama is that you're familiar with the program, and you obviously have served there. And so as the head coach now in a conference that is pretty unique, we've talked with other coaches about this, regional rivalries still very much intact. You guys and Troy get to play every single year, a lot of great rivalries in this conference. How does that help when you sell to recruits and to donors and everything about saying, hey, this is a special conference, and we can win championships here at South Alabama?
Well, from a player standpoint, that's part of the pageantry of wanting to play. That's part of wanting to play college football. You want to play in rivalry games. You want to play in a league that matters. In our league, our footprint, especially in the West, really gives us that. So we do have a lot of people that are within proximity in terms of Troy, South, Southern Miss. Texas State's a little bit over there, but Arkansas State's not far away. So we do have a lot of people nearby and can create that. And your parents are able to come see your games. Your support system's able to follow you. All those are easy things in terms of selling from a recruit standpoint to stay in this league and how this league can be competitive. And we have guys every year from this league that are represented in the national, in the draft, or whether it even be the Senior Bowl in our hometown. Our league is always making its mark. So I think it's a great place for guys to come play, and regardless of school in our league, it's a great place for them to come and showcase their talents and stay close to their families and not have to go here, there, and everywhere to get a great college experience.
And obviously, Coach, you're in a recruiting hotbed. The Southeast is known for its talent, and obviously in the state of Alabama. What's it like recruiting in the state of Alabama with some of the opportunity to come say, hey, maybe you're not going to be the guy at Alabama or the guy at Auburn, but you can come here and be the guy, and we're going to mold you into that NFL star?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into it. Number one, football is extremely important in our state, extremely important. Number two, there's a lot of really good players for all levels. And number three, that's because there's a lot of good coaches and there's a lot of good programs. And it doesn't matter whether you're, up in Florence or Muscle Shoals, or you're down in Gulf Shores, or you're over there in Columbus, Georgia, or right on the eastern border, or wherever, Hillcrest. All corners of our state, there's champions, and there's a lot of great coaches that have been at a lot of different places too. Not just in the state of Alabama, but have brought things. And there's just tremendous players in our state, and Mobile, being there on the coast, is just I don't think you can drop a better location in terms of our country and where you might find a bunch of really good football players that play all those positions. You can hang a right and go to Lafayette in 4 hours. You can hang a left and go to Tallahassee in 4 hours, and go 4 hours north, just the north side of Birmingham, and you're going to find about whatever you need to have a winning ball club. So the passion for the state, the sport in the state, the coaching, the way the kids grow up, there's a different, in my opinion, I'm partial because I grew up, there's just a different way of growing up in the southeast part of this country, and I really enjoy the kids that I'm coaching. I genuinely enjoy them. Are we all there yet? No, hell, I wasn't there as a college kid either. I had a lot of growing up to do even after college. But for the most part, you get a lot of great grounded kids with great families. And so I'm very blessed, fortunate to be able to coach those kind of guys.
I know you mentioned you're excited about this group, and both players mentioned that they feel like this can be a special group. What are some of the traits that you've seen early on? I know you hadn't gotten to fall camp yet, but just some of the traits that says, hey, we have some pieces, but the mentality to be able to put it all together.
I see our team. We're not where we need to be yet, but I see our team understanding, the spring, learning how to strain. They've been adaptive to some things that, whether Kane was here or not, these were things that we had discussed that, like, hey, if we're together, or whether you get a job at Indiana or you go to Alabama as a defensive coordinator, like, these are the things that the 2024 Jaguars need to fix or get better at. And, so I see our guys welcoming those changes, those things where we're asking more of them. And whether it be in finish, whether it be in the classroom, whether it be in the weight room, and they're delivering, and just like anything else, the moment your parents come in there and add a couple extra chores that you weren't anticipating, there's always some bitching and complaining. But you see what the result is down the line, and somewhere in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s, you realize, man, those people were pretty smart, so we haven't had a lot of that, fortunately. People have kind of trusted their coaches, trusted their strength coaches, and trusted their position coaches. In terms of what we're asking them to do to put the odds in our favor when it comes game day next year.
Obviously going to be a fun season there in Mobile. And, look, quarterback position is going to be one that you guys are replacing a heck of a quarterback, Carter Bradley. To kind of talk about that position specifically and, a couple of the other weapons around that you feel confident can help whoever it is going to be at the quarterback position throughout this season continue to grow into that role.
Well, Carter did a great job for us the last 2 years. I mean, that's 2 bowl games in a row for our program, young program, first bowl win that we had an opportunity to go, even though he was injured and didn't get to play in that. But he's a big part of our program and why our program has gotten to where it's gotten in a short time period. So we're going to miss that level of production for him. We're also going to miss some stuff from LaDamian Webb as well, and Colin Lacey, who went to Louisville through the portal. At the same time, it was a blessing to get Gio Lopez in the month of June and July and have him all throughout fall camp, and didn't want it to be too serious, knock on wood it wasn't, but he did have to play during the season because Carter got banged up, so there's some valuable experiences in there. Thursday night at Troy, I'm not sure we can replicate that kind of experience in a practice. So that was really good for him, and it was good for him to have that feel and kind of see how fast those pitches come, for a lack of a better term, to go back to the offseason, January through August, and work on it. And his work ethic is second to none, whether it's in the weight room, in the film room, on the field, throwing. I've started to see him become more vocal in his leadership roles. And the good thing for Gio stepping in, even though you're on paper a redshirt freshman, you did play in 4 games last year. You did start 2 of them, or 1 of them. You do have a lot of playing time, but also, if it's in your head, Jamal Pritchett played a lot of ball, Javon Ivory played a lot of ball, Devin Boyson played a lot of ball. DJ Thomas has played a lot of ball. Reed Byes has played a lot of ball. Jordan Davis has played a lot of football. Bam McReynolds has played. Kentrell Bullock, our tailback. So, Gio, you're not the only guy out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of experience around you. And I know for me, that was a comforting factor for me personally as a redshirt freshman. I was in a huddle with 8 other seniors. There was me, a wideout, and a fullback. And 2 of them were juniors, and 2 of them were sophomores, and I was a freshman. The other 8 guys were seniors. So it just, whatever, I don't know how to say it, just made you feel secure.
Yeah.
There was a lot of experience, so he'll have that around him as well.
Last one for you here, Coach, before we get you out of here. Obviously, you're a guy that's going to evaluate the quarterback position. Has it changed over the past couple of years how you look at these kids? I mean, look, tons of information that you can take in. What are some of the key things you look in recruiting just in terms of, can this guy help our program? Maybe not just now, but we can develop him.
Well, there's the tangibles and the intangibles, and from the tangible standpoint, where the game has gone and where it's been the last 3-4 decades, honestly, is moving towards more of an athletic quarterback. And I always kind of joke with those quarterbacks, is like, guys, I can't pin the tail on the donkey 75 times in a row. At some point, you're going to have to bail me out. I'm not that good as a play caller. At some point, that guy's going to have a good play call, and it's going to be better than what I've called. And that's where lawn deers like me are extinct, and guys that can move around like y'all and ad-lib and, do some things, on your own. That's where it allows offenses to stay in sequence, and you've seen it. Whether it's a Kyler Murray or a Johnny Manziel or whatever. It's the ability to stay on schedule and continue to move the ball without having to be perfect executing. So we want that element of our quarterback, not to where it turns into recess every time he drops back and everybody's running all over the place. That's not what we want. but we want to have the ability that when we're executing and we're playing a team that can execute at a high level too, and there's nobody open, our guy can do something with the football and make great decisions with it. So I always tell the guys from a tangible standpoint, you know, I need to be able to see adequate arm strength, arm quickness, decisiveness, you know, ability to move. You don't have to be Vince Young or Michael Vick, but, you know, you have to have a 15, 20-yard burst to get away from trouble. And then the intangible parts is like non-negotiables. Like you have to be a competitor. Like you have to be a competitor. The good ones that I've been around, that was their number one trait. It wasn't their arm strength. But you have to be a competitor. You have to be likable. You know, I don't care how good you are. At that role, that position with the building and all the people that are in it, you're going to have good times and bad times. You need to be a likable teammate. And likable is defined a lot of different ways, but usually it's somebody that works their tail off that you can respect. You know, you don't have to like the same music as them. But it's usually a guy that presents himself in that manner. And Gio's done all that. And the good thing is I feel comfortable. We brought Gio in. We also brought Bishop in last year in June, and Bishop's done an outstanding job. So there's two guys that are making good decisions with the ball that can move around a little bit, complete balls, and then we brought in a true freshman in this January, and Jared Hollins from a local high school, and all three of them are operating. Now, you know, we're in the practice mode. It'll be different with opponents and stuff like that, but they're doing a great job, and, you know, pleased with our quarterback position.
Well, I know you guys are ready to get after it. Fall camp coming up shortly, and Coach, we're excited to see what you guys put on the field and make a trip down to Mobile to see you guys play.
Come see us.
Awesome.